I'm going to show you how to smooth the back section and if necessary the front section, but you shouldn't file the front section if you're planning on painting it, because you'll file off any of the detail that you've had engraved on the front of it. If you want to clean up the front section, you just use wire wool just to rub onto the section which is engraved, just to clean it up. So at this stage, let's have a look. So what you need to do is you clamp it down to the table. Now it's important at this stage to use a quick release clamp because it's got a rubber and the rubber stopper there, and it'll stop the metal from getting scratched. So if you use a G clamp at this stage, then the G clamp, because it's metal, will scratch the metal, whereas the rubber will stop it. So what I'm doing now is I'm just using a flat file, a bigger flat file, and I'm rubbing it in the same direction back and forth. If you go in all sorts of different directions when you're filing, it will scratch it in all different directions and it'll look messy. So you just focus on one section at a time. And I've just clamped one side of the keyring down, and then I work on the other side of it. Okay, when you finish filing it and it all looks the same, wrap like a rougher sandpaper, so a 50 or something similar, around the file, and then hold on to it, pinch it, and then back and forth again in exactly the same direction. And then the 100 or something similar, like a medium grit sandpaper, the same way as you've done previously. And then you back and forth. If you put more pressure on the file on either side, it'll do it quicker. But do be aware that the sandpaper will wear out fairly quickly if you're not using emery cloth. So it needs to you need to check that you haven't worn out the sandpaper. So I'm then doing 150 back and forth. And then I'm going to move on to the wire wool. So it's exactly the same stages and steps that you've previously done on the other section. So to smooth it out, when you finish doing that side, then you just flip the key ring around and then clamp it up to the other side. So you can see I've managed to get rid of all scratches and they're all good, and it's all nice and smooth, and I filed and sanded and wire wooled in exactly the same direction. So then you clamp up the other side and repeat the same process over again. So you'll see the flat file, put some pressure on it, don't forget, the 50. Just pinch the sandpaper, rotate the sandpaper if it's worn out. The 100 sandpaper, grit, and then the 150. And then the wire wool to finish off. And hopefully, you've got to be careful not to be too heavy-handed with it, because if you take too much of the metal off with the file, then it leaves like a bit of a different level, like a distance. But you can see if you're just nice and careful with it, and then finish off just with a bit of wire wool in the same direction you've previously been doing it, just to get the middle bit if you need to, and it should look nice and smooth like the image that you can see.